Hey boys and girls, Scott Turnage here. Another episode of the G3 Sportsman. This is going to be a little different. This is going to be a little fun right here. Not that the other ones aren't fun, but this one's going to be a little different. We have got the new LiveSight transducer for our Lowrance LiveSight. I know you guys have been anticipating seeing some of this stuff. Well, we've got one, and I couldn't think of anybody better to use this on and to experiment with on a boat than our boy Jeff Faulkenberry right here at the end of the season guide service on Truman Lake. We're gonna go after crappie because that's what the majority of you guys are watching, these other videos on here, crappie. So we're gonna go after crappie. We're gonna see how this thing works. He went out, tested it just a little bit today, this morning. We're out this afternoon, so we're gonna see what it's all about and if the hype is really true or not. You're gonna see it right here. So without further ado, let's scat down the lake, get to our first spot, and let's see how this thing works. We are here, we're at our first spot. So we just got here to this first tree, and I guess that's fish we're seeing right there.
Yep, they're all on we pulled up here and shot this tree with the LiveSight, and what we saw is on this left side of the tree, you can see the tree, you can see the tree right here, but you can see these fish coming in it.
Yeah, and that's about,
we are 13 feet deep.
I'm not used to fishing and looking at a fish. I got a fish now. Nice. Okay, this is the actual first fish from the LiveSight. First official fish, crappie anyway, on camera. Right there. Nice one too.
Real nice fish.
You got your front live well going?
I can't have real quick.
Gotta keep some crappie, man. Gotta keep some crappie.
Go ahead.
First one right there. How about that?
See these fish coming into it right here?
I do.
You can actually see them swimming into that tree. I just dropped that minnow in there and they were all coming. There's 6 or 7 of them right there. Now see, they're moving back in right here on this side of the tree.
Over here on this side.
There he is right there.
Nice one too.
Oh,
little one.
Now this isn't something that I've had on my boat and been practicing for weeks. I mounted this, look here. Look here. I mounted this yesterday. I had a guide trip this morning. I turned it on and went fishing. I haven't done a whole lot. And it's super, super cool. I can see that fish coming, right? See them two coming?
Yep.
All right. Nice. Oh, big crappie.
Man, I
Come on, get him in
tell
here.
you down. Let me play with him a minute.
He's gonna lose me. Come on, son.
The hackberry flipping it. Man, I want to tell you boys, what a crappie. What a crappie now. I mean, tell you, that's a dandy LiveSight crappie right there now. That's a dandy. We don't know if they're all going to bite. That's the thing. You can pull in here, you can see them, drop down to them, but you still, thank goodness that they still don't all bite, because otherwise there would be no crappie to catch after about another 10 years. But that's a dandy right there. And you can tell how these fish are just circling this tree too.
Yep, they just keep moving around.
That's something we never knew before.
Nope, I'd have hit this tree. I may have caught a fish or two and then took off. What this done just today, and I fished this mostly just today, and I've done some, live stuff before, but what it's done is it's really slowed me down, and I'm a lot more thorough than what I would have been. I used to be run and gun and never stop. Pull in, hit a tree, and go. Now I'm in real time, like right there, and they're out just a little bit this way. In real time, I'm seeing those fish. See my bait going down?
Yeah,
right to them fish?
Yep.
I'm gonna hold it up high to see them fish are only about 6 or 8 foot down. Just that same ball of fish. They just moved forward off the end of that stick.
Man, how did I miss that one?
Forward just a little bit.
So they're just right on the end of that stick. You can see them.
See them right here.
Yep.
See the stick?
Yep.
See the fish out here wiggling?
Yeah. Instead of watching your pole like you normally are, and there's a tendency until you get used to it, you miss fish, I think. Because I've missed 3 or 4 sitting here looking at a video game and then feel the bite, you know. So that's one of the things that's different. You know, you're not just pulling in and you're focused on the tip of your rod or whatever. You're looking at this screen and it's pointing this way.
Yep, pointing right at that tree. And one thing that I've really noticed with some of this live technology, man, some of this live technology is you drop a bait in that tree, them fish may be way out here and come running into there. It might not be fish that are already on that tree.
Now that's fish.
Yeah. Nice. Crappie.
Okay, yeah, I was just getting ready to say that you saw we had it not even pointing at the tree.
Wasn't even quite to it yet.
And it was pointing out this way from the tree. And that's where I caught that crappie, right? So see, we normally wouldn't have, I would have been fishing in the tree. But this was 6 feet out from the tree, wasn't it not? See, you wouldn't have known that crappie's 6 feet out from the tree. So this is tree.
Yep.
This is fish.
Yep.
What about that thing?
Nope, that's
part of the tree.
That's a limb off the tree. But those 3 above it are fish.
Now you're pointing at fish out here now.
Yep. Actually, I'm right in it right now. They're just on this side, and I watched my bait go down. And now I got him, and I got him hung in there. I got him hung in that cedar tree. I watched that jig go down right in the heart of it.
And while he's doing that, he's got it pointed there. I'm going to drop it down in there. I can watch it fall.
This is something, you know, the big thing to people right now is they say, well, I can watch that fish eat my jig. I'm not really concerned about watching the fish eat the jig. I want to know when them fish move from here to that side. Right now, I want to know they did it. I want to be more efficient at fishing where the fish are instead of where they were.
Not going to be on every tree. We all know that anyway. Now you can be more efficient when you come up to a tree and there's nothing there, then don't fish. Then go on to the next one, like this one right here. There may be a cluster of fish on there. That's the one you'll spend the time on. There's a good one. Yeah, there's a good one. See, I dropped in where I knew the fish were. I concentrated on my tip of my rod and watched my line because it's a light bite. Thus, I caught the fish the old-fashioned way. So that's what's fun. I'm not going to sit there and just watch that screen. Plus, I got Jeff. He just goes, there they are, and I just drop down.
I'll show you a couple of things that you can do with this LiveSight. You see some fish coming across here. We're in open water headed for a big tree. There's a ball of shad right there, head of the boat. Actually, I can see them under the water right here. Big old water shad. But a couple of things you can do is there's different color palettes for whatever color you like. I'm running the number 5 palette. You can go to like the old original 2D sonar palette. You can see a fish right here. You can still see some of them shad right there. There's 5 different palettes on. Look at this fish running.
I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. I like
yeah,
that color.
it's kind of a neat color.
Well, them fish really show up too.
This green right here is another really cool palette. And with every palette, you'll kind of want to adjust your sensitivity to clean it up a little bit. This is that orange crawfish looking whatever color. And then this is kind of that natural original brown copper. I kind of like that copper. That's an underwater tree right there that we can't actually see here. But that's one thing. One thing I notice is like it has an auto mode to adjust your depth on your range depending on what water you're in. I won't ever run auto mode. I run custom mode all the time, and that's what I found out today. And I've adjusted a lot of these fish that we're catching are in about 14 to 19 feet of water. Anything 19 foot or less has been really, really good. So I've been running my range out at 20 feet, and I've been running my range down at about 20. And that gives me a nice big picture window. If I was to run it out further in that shallow water, my window is only going to be, you know, this tall. So when I bring that range in, it widens my window out, so I got a real good field of view there. What that's going to do is allow you to target those fish. If it's way out there and it's a little bitty image, you know, you're not going to see your jig as well. So I can target those fish a lot better in. Now if I move out to 30 or 40 feet of water, I need to adjust my downrange to that 40 or 50 foot to bring that screen wider out. So real easy to adjust. It's all right there. I run the sensitivity pretty high. I'm running 93% right now, and there's not a lot of clutter in this shallower water. Just starting to see the tree, but you can see these fish right out here on this outside. There's fish running right here as we're moving in here. There's one thing you're going to notice when you go into some of this live technology is how much fish move. They'll move in, they'll move out. Here's a fish running in. That's not, nobody's fishing, so you know, that's, yeah, all that stuff you see moving, that's all fish. You can see this limb on this tree right here. Here's a big wad of fish come moving in right here. So there's some tips and tricks. I've seen enough. I'm gonna get a jig in the water. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shoulders. Oh man, I missed it.
Oh yeah. Nicely done, if I should say so myself. LiveSight fish there, boys. Another crappie.
That's what the cool part is. You get to pull up with the Lowrance and look at them, and then you get to look at them again.
How about that? All right. What have we learned? What have we learned so far? Jeff, let's take a break here. Let's tell them exactly what they've learned right now.
It's almost unfair. The thing is, the main deal with this kind of technology, live technology, is it's right now. Everything is right now. You're able to put your bait in a more efficient spot because you know those fish are there right now. In the past with 2D and downscan technology, if you know much about transducers, it's just pinging all the time, and it hits that object, but they'll be there and then they're gone. Well, where'd they go? Now I know where they went. So I can put that bait where the fish are right now.
What you guys have been used to seeing online, all you crappie guys, what you're used to seeing, what you're fishing with your buddies or whatever. Jeff, what's the difference now? Is there any advantages, disadvantages? What's the difference in Brand X
and LiveSight
and versus LiveSight?
You know, all this stuff is all super great products, but they all have their differences. And one of the biggest differences, I've fished with both, mostly all of them. And one of the biggest differences that I see with LiveSight is the detail is a little bit less than some of the other brands, but it has a wider cone angle. And what that allows me to do is it's a lot more forgiving. You got the trolling motor pointed at that stump or tree or brush pile or whatever, and your boat blows off a little bit. With that 40-degree cone, it's a lot more forgiving. You're still in that window. You still see your target. And for me as a guide, with Brand X, it's really, really hard because you got this narrow window. But with me having 1, 2 other people on the boat, I can get all 3 of our baits in the same cone angle on the same fish.
Exactly.
These are wide open area fish right there.
But we don't know what they are. It could be white.
They could be white bass. They could be big shad. You know, we've got shad gizzards.
Oh, boy.
Oh my, mercy me. Mercy me.
How about that? It ain't every day. Boys, in fact, it's rare that I can come out here and fish with who I call the sweeper. And just put a good old-fashioned whooping on him on these fish.
He's whooping me.
But I'll tell you the truth, boys. he's really letting me do it. So that's a nice fish. I'm not gonna keep that one. I'm gonna let that one go.
Too big.
Which is worse? You pull into a tree, you fish it, you don't know if there's crappie there or not, and you don't get a bite. But what if you come up to it, you see a big cluster of crappie, and you can't get a bite? So which is worse?
That's horrible.
Fishing a tree that you don't know and you're not catching fish, or fishing a tree that you know has fish on it and you're not catching? So, which, I'd say the latter has to be worse.
Going right down to him. I should be right above him right there.
I'm gonna watch mine. There comes mine.
Yep.
Right there.
On the back side, it'll troll up just a little bit. Stay in the zone there.
Oh.
Come on. Come on, Big Daddy.
Oh. Man, boys and girls, let me tell you something. This is fun fishing. There's no doubt about it. To get out there, see your fish, see how they're acting. You can go where they go and catch these fish or whatever. Now, I'm gonna let that big fish go, but you talk about fun to catch. Hey, be responsible when you get these units right here. Just because you can find them, just because you can catch them, don't mean you need to keep every single crappie that you catch. Keep what you can use, release the rest, enjoy it, have fun, bring your family out, catch some fish. This is a good tool. It'll make you a better fisherman, and no doubt. Have fun with it, catch you a mess. And Jeff, you got anything to add to anything?
No, man, you know, a tool is as good as you use it. Get the tool, get out, practice with it, get good at it, and I think you could have a great time and show people a great time. Put a lot of fish in the boat, put a lot of fish back in the water.
That's right. Hey, thanks again for watching. We'll be out there somewhere next time right here on the G3 Sportsman doing something fun. So we appreciate you taking your time with us. Check out the Lowrance LiveSight and tell us what you think. We're having a big time with ours. We'll let this one go.